Hi, and welcome back to another Onkruid video. Welcome back to another non-gameplay video. It's about time. Let's learn something together again. Learning something from the field of therapy, more specifically client-centered therapy today. I have a seminar coming up this Saturday on the topic of empathy. A widely discussed word in the media, in the therapy world. It's just a well-known word in general. A lot of people call themselves empathic, but I'm here to tell you what is empathy actually, or rather what is it according to Carl Rogers? Carl Rogers is of course the renowned American psychologist that lived in the previous century that kind of started from the ground up the humanistic point of view. Not being so satisfied with the psychodynamic side of things, with the cognitive behavioral side of things, he was like, we need to listen to people again. And his client-centered approach I'm studying to become a client-centered therapist, kind of revolutionized the way we think about human growth and self-actualization, some of the main topics in that field of therapy. One of the things he is most known for is also the sufficient and necessary conditions in order to achieve therapeutic change. Empathy, unconditional positive regard, and authenticity or realness or congruence, whatever term you want to associate with it. Either way, that first one, empathy, is what we're focusing on today. According to him, the most important one, the most fundamental one, the one the entire therapy is built upon. If there's no empathy, there can be no therapy. And in his 1975 article, Empathic, An Unappreciated Way of Being, which was published in the journal The Counseling Psychologist, he gave us 3 separate definitions of empathy. The first one is based on his own thoughts. It's a classic definition of empathy, and it goes as follows. The state of empathy, or being empathic, is to perceive the internal frame of reference of another with accuracy and with the emotional components and meanings which pertain thereto, as if one were the person, but without ever losing the as-if condition. Thus, it means to sense the hurt or the pleasure of another as he senses it, and to perceive the causes thereof as he perceives them, but without ever losing the recognition that it is as if I were hurt or pleased, and so forth. If this as-if quality is lost, then the state is one of identification. And we don't want identification. We want to be able to move ourselves into the shoes of the person across from us without losing our own frame of reference, our own internal world. Because you need to come back to that after an empathic intervention or after a little segment of being empathic. You want to be able to come back to your own safe space, your own ground, your own way of living, your own life. So feeling with the other and feeling as if you are the other. If he is hurt, try to understand where that hurt comes from. That's already a pretty nice definition for the concept of empathy, if you ask me. It encompasses a lot of the important facets. But however, Rogers said, there's this guy, Eugene Gendlin. He's coming onto the scene, he's making waves. He's making waves with his focusing approach. Focused way more on the bodily side of feeling. On defining those weird, vague bodily feelings you have, finding the right symbols for them in order for a felt shift to arise. And Rogers was like, this work is way too important not to be included in the definition of empathy. Rogers felt like, I need to up my game, I need to update my definition of empathy, and it goes as follows. It is Gentlin's view that at all times there is going on in the human organism a flow of experiencings to which the individual can turn again and again as a referent in order to discover the meaning of his experience. Empathy here is pointing sensitively to the felt meaning which the client is experiencing in this particular moment, in order to help him focus on that meaning and to carry it further to its full and uninhibited experiencing. This definition is also very nice. It focuses the attention a little bit less on the as-if quality. It's focused way more on the bodily component of emotions, on how you, in a friendly, curious manner, guide your client towards his felt sense, towards those vague bodily experiences that he is maybe not really in touch with. And doing that is also a form of empathy, according to Rogers. And then finally, there is a very, very long and elaborate definition. A definition Rogers made because he thought, well, people that are not in the therapist field, that are not in the mental health care field, they might still want to know what empathy is. And he decided to make a contemporary definition that is probably broadly understandable for everyone. Let's hear it though. The way of being with another person, which is termed empathic, has several facets. It means entering the private perceptual world of the other and becoming thoroughly at home in it. It involves being sensitive, moment to moment, to the changing felt meanings which flow in this other person, to the fear or rage or tenderness or confusion or whatever that she is experiencing. It means temporarily living in his or her life, moving about in it delicately without making judgments, sensing meanings of which he or she is scarcely aware, but not trying to uncover feelings of which the person is totally unaware, since it would be too threatening. It includes communicating your sensings of his or her world as you look with fresh and unfrightened eyes at elements of which the individual is fearful. It means frequently checking with him or her as to the accuracy of your sensings, and being guided by the responses you receive. You are a confident companion to the person in his or her inner world. By pointing to the possible meanings in the flow of his or her experiencing, you help the person to focus on this useful type of referent, to experience the meanings more fully and to move forward in the experiencing. To be with another in this way means that for the time being you lay aside the views and values you hold for yourself in order to enter another's world without prejudice. In some sense, it means that you lay aside yourself, and this can only be done by a person who is secure enough in himself that he knows he will not get lost in what may turn out to be the strange or bizarre world of the other, and can comfortably return to his own world when he wishes. As you can see, this is kind of a combination of both. It is focused on the focusing, and it's also back again at it with the as if quality. Make sure that you are stable in yourself, stable enough as your own person to have the mental capacity to live into another person's life for a second. Some different key points in all three definitions, but in the end all three are of course valuable. Empathy is crucial in any type of relationship, but of course especially in a therapeutic relationship. Research also shows that it is the most important out of all necessary and sufficient conditions to actually achieve therapeutic change. Good luck being empathic out there. Bye bye.